Let me know you can hear me. Anybody? Okay, good, good, good. Chantal, if you want to start the stream, that's fine. Okay, I didn't know. Okay, all right. Good afternoon or good morning, good late morning, everyone. Welcome to Quarterly Grains. I'm a minute early. Quarterly Grains, so I'm going to wait 1 minute because we're streaming this. The official name of this report is the Grain Stock Report. So if you're ever looking for it on the USDA, the government website, the U.S. Department of Agriculture website, it's actually called the Grain Stocks Report. So I'm going to start changing the name of the report to the Quarterly Grain Stock Report. So that way, if people start looking for it, they'll find it. Because if you search for quarterly grains, you'll never find the report. So I kind of want to apologize for that. I never really used the official name for it. It's Grain Stocks Report. We're going to start in a couple of seconds, just waiting for the stream to catch up. And I think we can start. So, welcome everybody. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director for 10-Minute Trades. Remember, please, that all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. It is possible to lose money trading futures, so trade carefully, trade smart, and trade money that you can afford to lose. Now, there's two choices for instruments, indexes you can use for this report. You can trade soybeans or corn. Now, look, honestly, corn's been a little bit over volatile on the WASD lately. Soybeans have looked a little bit better. I'm going to stay with corn this quarter. You know, this has been one of our best trades. It's just been a really, really good trade. Now, I'm always superstitious, so I'm not going to talk about, lots of performance stuff, but suffice it to say, this has been a great winning trade, and I'm going to trade it accordingly. I always, on the WASD and on quarterly grains, what I'm going to do is there was a trade in April on the WASD that I was set up to trade corn, but I also had been noticing extra volatility in corn before trades that made me think that if I would have been able to change to soybeans, I might have not had to cancel a trade without having a trade. In other words, normally you cancel a trade and you don't have an alternative. With WASD and quarterly grains, we have two indexes that we can trade. We can trade soybeans or corn. So I had both trades set up, and see what corn did before the news came out. Before the news came out, corn behaved as if the news came out early. So I switched over to soybeans because I had the trade set up but not enabled. All you have to do is uncheck the enabled box on corn, check the box on soybeans, and I was able to switch instruments. And because corn moved in a way that maybe led you to believe it might be too risky to trade it at the time of the news, we could take a soybean trade that wound up being safe. And actually, in the irony of ironies of the whole situation, corn, even though it had a really wild, volatile move before the news, still would have worked anyway, which was the irony. That's not always the case. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes you'll get a move that's unusual, and it will give you a safety notification that you should trade something else or cancel your trade. So it's just, this report gives us the opportunity to change instruments at the last second if you want to. So I'm going to set up a soybean trade, not enable it, and it'll be there if I want it. So the soybean trade, it's a breakout trade. It's a bracket of 8. The one nice thing that I would say is that right now the grain markets are looking relatively normal. Normal meaning not, they're calm. They're relatively calm. I'm that I think is a bonus because that might help our trade. I much rather trade when the indexes are calm as opposed to volatile before a setup, before a news release. So the grains moved like all the markets moved last night on Biden's comments about oil because that affects the economies and it does affect all markets. So our DMM bracket is 8. I'm okay with that for now. And I would trade one target of 10 ticks. I don't mind that. A second target of 17 ticks. I'm doing it in positions. I don't want 17 positions. I want, my first target is 10. My second target is 17. And I'm using 3 positions. My third is 26. That's my soybean trade that I'm not expecting to trade. Okay. The stop is 15. Okay. And the entry time is 11:59:59. And it's a breakout trade. Let me record this. So that's my soybean setup. Okay. That's my beans. And I'm not going to enable this trade, but I'm going to have this trade ready to go in my back pocket if I need it. So it's going to be on a real account, but I'm not enabling it. It's going to be ready to trade. I don't really think I'm going to need it, to be honest. But the one thing I'd like to do is just check my bracket size. You know what I mean when I say I'm going to check my bracket size. I set the time to 0 so that the software fires. I put my charts on sim. And then I just want to look and see how spread apart my bracket is for analysis. See, they're a little bit too far apart, so I'm going to shrink it down a little bit. You don't get movement until the price moves a little bit. Okay. So my charts, my trade's ready. I just have to put my time back. and put my charts back to live. 11:59:59. 11:59:59. So my soybean trade's ready. And I'll check my corn bracket also. I always use at least a 6 bracket on corn. And I'm going to stick with what I always have been doing. My bracket is 6. So I'm just going to check my bracket size. And why do I do it? It's really for trade analysis, okay? It's strictly for trade analysis, nothing else. It's so that we can see things clearly, that's all, okay? So my corn setup, right now it's a bracket of 6. I'll probably keep that the same. And I'm going to go for a target of 7 and 17 and 25. My stop, I'm going to go to 14. Entry time is 11:59. 11:59:59. It's a breakout trade. I label it corn, of course. Charts go on live. And that, let's double check our time. I'm sure I changed it back. 11:59:59. It's a noon report. Chantal, I thought you were leaving. Did you leave? Or are you still here? Derek, are you trading? Are you trading? And no pressure, Derek. If you don't want to trade, don't. Only trade when you feel you're ready. When you feel you're ready. So we want to look and see. I think that the markets are not that wild right now that it looks safe to use our brackets. I think we're okay. The only thing I'm thinking is just the second and third target, maybe a little bigger. I mean, today could be a very big move. So I'm going to go 19 and 29 and 9 on my first target. And those aren't even that huge targets considering how big these reports have been moving. Because let's look. Quarterly grain, the last report was January, and it was with WASD. Okay. Quarterly grains traded with WASD. Now I got to find it. I pulled up the wrong video by accident. Let me get the right one. So the recent quarterly grains was the last WASD. That was two WASD reports ago. Three WASD reports ago. It was January 22. January of 22, the WASD report. That was January 12th. Okay. Here's the trade. Decent move, not mind boggling. It wasn't mind boggling, but it was good. Hit the first target and then it pulled back. And it pulled back. It didn't follow through initially. Initially. Okay. Now, normally you try to protect profit on this report. It can reverse fairly quickly. So WASD, more than $200 quarterly gains and profit last trade. Not bad. Not a bad trade. In September, the previous, let's look just for fun, quarterly gains a year ago, January. A year ago, January. A year ago, 2 years ago. 2 years ago. 2020. Let's see, 2020 January is, yeah, it's almost 2 years ago, not quite. Look how different our charts look. Really, really different. Let me see if I can find the right spot in the video. This might be a weird video that I can't tell what happened. I don't know if I can tell what happened. Let's see if we can tell. Charts are very thin, skinny, weird looking. So news comes out, it shoots down, doesn't really go that far. Struggling to hit that first target, hits it, hits the first target, stop to break even. Trying to grab a second target, grab at the second target a little bit. Thinking about trailing the stop. So it was a medium move. Soybeans looked like they had a little bit steadier of a move that month. So a couple of $100 profit. That's always okay. Not going to complain. Let's look at September. September quarterly gains. September 30th. Trading corn. Quite the move. That was a $2,000 profit. That was a great trade. September was fantastic. Great move. That was a very nice trade. And then we have September, not September, June 30th. Also a very nice move. And that was $1,500. Nice corn move, nice soy move. Let's see if the soy move was, it's almost like a double soy move. So soybeans started to move early, and sometimes they do that. It doesn't mean anything. Soybeans um, looked like they went down first. Okay. So it's always a question, did they go down while your orders were on the chart, or did they wait? Was it after your orders were on the chart? Looks to me like that could have been a stop out because it might have filled short first. Okay. So soybeans in June, no, they were good in June. Soybeans worked in June based on the analysis. Okay. In September, corn was a winner and soybeans were not. So September, when we had that big move on corn, if you watch the right side, soybeans, soybeans went up, had a whipsaw reversal. Okay, so soybeans stopped out. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that the grain, that soybean is riskier, but soybeans are by their nature whippier than corn, and that's one of the reasons for the bigger bracket on soybeans. The bracket is 8 versus 5 or 6. Checking our time sync by going to the website time.is. And then let's see, do I have any other videos? I showed you January, I showed you April. Let me see if I have one more an old video. So the proper name is the grain stocks report. Grain stocks report. Here's September 2020. September 2020. Look how different the charts look again. Crazy looking charts. Over a year ago. Crazy looking charts. Well, just goofy looking candles. A little bit of delay to the news and a very nice move. Very nice move up. That was a good one. That was a good one. So we'd love to see just a nicely fast move in one direction. That's what we'd love to see today. A nice fast move in one direction. Wouldn't it be great? And I don't care which way it goes. It could go up and test the high or go down and test the low. Just go in one direction. Soybeans having a little bit of pre-trade volatility there. Let's say you want to increase your bracket. Let's say that makes you a little bit uncomfortable and you want to increase your bracket to 9 or 10. These trades generally will give you enough movement that you can use a bracket of 9 or 10. But if you do that, increase your stop also by at least the equivalent setup. In other words, if you increase your bracket by 3, increase your stop by 3. You're not seeing the screens? Anybody else having trouble seeing the screens? Activation time is 11:59:59. 11:59:59. Okay, the screens are going to blink. I can't stop that, unfortunately. Refresh or change browsers, Mark. Now, I can't stop the blinking. Unfortunately, I have to leave it alone. It's going to stop. It'll stop on its own. And I'm waiting to hear back from the trade room developer. I'm having this issue where every now and then my charts will blink. And I can't stop it. I can't stop it. So I'm really sorry. I'm going to just leave it because 3 minutes from now it should be gone. Okay. It's I don't want to interfere with my trade, so I have to ignore it because it's so close to the trade. I'd rather you could see my screens. See, it stopped, but it's you could see it a little bit in the corners. It's weird. I don't know why it does that. And I sent them an email. I didn't hear back. Tech support. So activation time is 11:59:59 for corn and soy. This is a spring. This is the spring report. So I would expect, we expect a good move in the spring. One thing to understand about the grains, cattle have something called limit up and limit down. If there's a move that's so huge and it should reach what we call limit up or limit down, you would actually be frozen in the market until the next session opens. Now, we've done the testing. That's very rare that you get such a big move that you would hit limit up or limit down. But it's something that you just should be aware of. It could happen. The testing that we've done is anytime that people were stuck in a limit up or limit down trade, when the market opened, 80% of the time it opened in the direction that you were trading for a better win than you would have had. But obviously, anything can happen. But it's one of the reasons I never saw it actually happen until last year. The market moved so much after a trade, that the market froze. It was such a big move. The thing to understand is I don't hang around in a grain trade if it's a very big move because I don't want any possibility of being locked in a market. It's got to be a very big move. You saw how big those moves were on those previous reports. It has to be more than that. So these are markets that have decent liquidity. Corn is certainly acting like it wants to test the low, but everything can change after the report, at the report. I'm tempted just to use a slightly bigger bracket. I don't think a bigger bracket is going to really hurt anything. So I'm just upping my stop a little bit, just a tiny bit. These have traditionally been good moving reports. So I would anticipate a good move on this report. If it's a dull move, then, you know, I might not make money. So just watching carefully. Soybeans are nerve wracking more than corn. But the bracket on soybeans, I probably would use a 10 on soybeans. Seconds, 33 seconds. Now, just watching and waiting. Watching and waiting. 5 seconds. Report's a little late. Now, I cannot believe that I didn't get filled. I cannot believe it. But it looks like I didn't get filled. That's what it looks like, that I did not get filled. I cannot believe it, that I did not get filled. I cannot believe this. I did not get filled. I cannot believe it. Did anybody else not get filled, or did everybody make money? It should have been a monster trade. It should have been a monster trade. I would probably get out of my trade now. If you're in it, I might get out. It moved a lot. Nobody got filled. Nobody got filled. Unbelievable. It was too fast. Too fast. I'm going to send my output to the programmer. Remember what we said? Soybeans looked like they did a whipsaw. Langford, you got filled. You got filled. So I'm going to send my output file, my Ninja script output. I want to know why I didn't get filled. I know why I didn't get filled, because the trade was too fast. The trade was too fast. That's it. Jumped the order. It jumped the order. That's the only thing that makes any sense. It jumped the order. I'm looking to see if I see anything. I'm going to save all the data. Langford, I'm assuming you had a profitable trade. I can't imagine that would have been a loser. I can't imagine that would be a loser unless you got filled at the top of the candle, which would be surprising. I don't think that should have happened. Let me just save my file. I'm, I'm I would like to know what happened to everybody else. But most people are saying they didn't get filled. I'm very disappointed. That's a very powerful up trade. I didn't take a down, a reversal. I didn't take a reversal. Um, Brian, you took the reversal. Good for you. Good for you. Um, It made a very big high, so a reversal was a good move. Reversal was a good move. So I'm watching for now. Nice trade, Langford. Are you the only person that got filled? If you'd send me your screenshot, that would be great. That would be great. I'd love to have it. And like I said, I'm gonna send I'm gonna send my output file. I'm sure because the market moves so fast, it's just sometimes it happens. Sometimes you just don't get filled. And we didn't use market orders. It wasn't that it was market orders. We didn't use market orders. I mean limit orders. So we gave ourselves the best chance of being filled. It honestly never dreamed of not getting filled. It never entered my mind today that there would not be a fill. I still don't believe it. I'm really, really aggravated. Really aggravated. But anybody else? Anybody else? Langford had an awesome trade. Langford 8, 12, 50. Beautiful. Beautiful. Fred had no fill. Um, AM had no fill. Anyone else? Very, very, it was really fast. Let's look at the video and you can see why there was no fill. It was fast. Still, I've seen fast. I swear, I feel that I've seen faster. I feel that I've seen faster over the years. Maybe I passed the computer at one point, one day. Not sure. I don't know that even that would have mattered. Let's look at the video. So one trader got filled, had an awesome trade. If you got filled, you had a great trade. It was a steady move in one direction. It was a great move in one direction, but it was very fast. So here comes the trade. I mean, it was exactly what I wanted. Exactly what I wanted. The news wasn't late. It was normal for this report. It was very, very, very fast. Very, very, very fast. I mean, there's no denying it was very, very fast. I mean, that, went all the way, all those ticks in 1 millisecond. It was a nanosecond. It was really fast. It doesn't make you feel any better, though. It doesn't make you feel any better. Soybeans looked like a disaster. Soybeans look like a disaster. Look at soybeans. Look at the video. Soybeans were acting very skitterish before the trade. And you could see that there was quite a bit of pre-trade volatility in soybeans. And then the last minute, soybeans were acting skitterish, right? And a few seconds before this trade, maybe it was a cancel, you know, but this trade moved so much, I still would have traded it. But the problem is it did a reversal. It just moved one direction enough to fill you for sure, and then it went the wrong way for the trade. So soybeans clearly would have been a loser. Soybeans clearly would have been a loser. So even if you look at the one range, it's not going to show us enough. Not really going to tell. I mean, you'll be able to, you can see with the one range how fast the move was. If we look at the one range, there's the price. So this was the move, right? That's the move. It was, a couple of seconds after 12, and I want the data box. So if you look at the volume on the candles, we look at the volume on the candles, it was really, really, well, it was one contract, 32.15. The volume was also very low on the candles, but still, I think it should have gotten filled. It should have gotten filled, but it was low volume at the beginning of the trade. So that's a shame, but it is what it is. Didn't get filled. Didn't get filled. Didn't get filled. That's all I can say. Very, very sorry about it. Was so looking forward to this trade. So looking forward. Okay. So there is another trade this evening. There's no trade room. All right. No trade room for the Chinese manufacturing, non-manufacturing report. And that's late. It's very late tonight. Those reports in this market, it might wind up moving. Okay. Double check the calendar, please, for the time of the event. All right. Double check the calendar for the time of the event. Right now, it says our report says 9:45. Forex Factory. Let's see what time Forex Factory says. 9:45. 9:45. Wait, is that Kaishin tonight? Yeah, it's Kaishin tonight. 9:45. Okay. Chantal, we didn't get filled. Only one person got filled. One person got filled. I'm crying. Literally, I am sitting in my office. I am crying. No joke. I was so looking forward to this trade. I'm disappointed. These things happen. It happens. It'll happen again, and then we'll get good fills. All you can do is make sure your machine is as fine-tuned as normal. I'm happy for Langford, who had a great trade. He got filled, and he's the only one who got filled on quarterly grains. He's the only one. I suppose the bright side, be happy you didn't trade soybeans. Be happy you didn't trade soybeans. Soybeans did a terrible whipsaw, terrible, terrible whipsaw. And it was almost not a fast whipsaw. It was a fill, and then I'd call it a reversal, really. I'd call it a reversal, not a whipsaw. Any questions? Any questions? Otherwise, we'll be back tomorrow morning. We'll be back at 8 o'clock for U.S. jobs. 8 o'clock for U.S. jobs. Okay, 8 o'clock. So I'll see everybody tomorrow morning. Thanks everybody for coming and watching. And Langford, if you can send me, I know you'll send me your picture. That'll be awesome. And quarterly grains. Wow, great move. And I'll report back to everybody. I'll report back to everybody. Now, Brian, the reversal on soy was not here because that was a down move on soy. Do you know what I mean? The I don't think soy would have been easy. I think soy would have been tough. I think soy would have been tough. But anyway, hey, if you can do it, I'm happy for you. That's the truth. All right, folks. I'll see everybody tomorrow morning early, 8 o'clock. I'll probably be here a couple of minutes early. So I'll see everybody for the jobs report and ISM tomorrow also. Two more opportunities. Okay, so don't get down. Tomorrow's another day. See everybody in the morning.